we've talked about the 9 steps, and we know it's more than just design. It's a lot more to it. We call it total project delivery. When we're doing the programming, we have to include all of those green initiatives. Schematic design, we want to study the orientation. We want to study the solar, thermal, and heating and so forth, ventilation and cooling. Design development is to increase the insulation, right-size all mechanical systems. This is like the final plan for the client to sign off on before we go into construction documents. Before we go into that construction documents, we want to make sure that the budget is appropriate for the client. And so we look at payback periods for the added green initiatives. We then produce the construction documents, better known as the plans and specifications. We want to incorporate all of the issues that we've talked about in the program initially about green initiatives. We bid the project, and usually, I know a lot of projects, it's not bid, but in a lot of the work that I do, we gather up all of the information from the plans and specs, we send it out to contractors, and they provide a bid. We want to make sure that the contractors understand the value of these green initiatives and that they have the experience to do so. In the language that's incorporated within the contract for construction with the contractor or contractors, we want to include certain green language that they will adhere to certain things. So that's part of it. Contract administration is, that's when the architect or I would go out on the job site, take a look, is the building being built according to those plans and specifications? Is everything we've asked for being incorporated in that project? The materials that we specified, is that what's on the job? So that's what we look for in contract administration. There's a lot more to it. We also go over the applications for payment by the contractor to compare his progress of the work with the actual progress that's on the job. So if he's asking for 50% of his money, has he in fact completed 50% of the work? And that's what we'll check. Close out the contracts for construction and close out the project. And in this process, we go through verifying that in fact we have the financials that all zero out, they're all balanced out, we have all of the documents that are needed, warranties and certifications, and that will close out. Those are the 9 points that take a project from a typical project of only maybe 3 phases to 9 phases, but now we incorporated the green initiatives into this same 9 phases that we usually go for. Well, the client has approved the program, the plan, the budget, bid the project, awarded the contracts of construction, what's left for the architect to do? And that is contract administration. And then I just briefly spoke about that, and that is to just ensure that what's being built is according to the plans and specification, and that the client, whether the client is the contractor with a bunch of subs, or the client is an owner, or the client is a developer, we want to make sure that whoever signed the contract with us is getting what he's entitled to from everybody involved. And it includes working with the local jurisdictions to make sure that they're not asking for things that are really not part of the code.